The moment people find out you've retired, something changes. Family starts asking for loans they never asked for before. Old friends start pitching you on opportunities they never mentioned while you were still working. And scammers, real ones, specifically target people they believe just retired because they know there's a lump sum sitting somewhere and someone who might not have their guard all the way up yet. That's not fear talk. That's just how it goes for a lot of people. And it's exactly why, before you tell a single person you're retiring, there are 10 things you need to quietly get in order first. Not for anyone else, for you. So let's get into it, starting with the one most people don't even think about until it's already a problem. The first thing to upgrade is your health coverage. If you're retiring before age 65, you don't have Medicare yet, and going even a short stretch without real coverage is one of the fastest ways to wipe out a retirement fund. One hospital stay without insurance can undo years of careful saving. Look into Cobra through your old employer, a marketplace plan, or your spouse's coverage if that's an option, and get it locked in before your last paycheck even arrives. If you're already 65 or getting close, make sure you're enrolled in Medicare during your specific enrollment window, because missing that window can mean a penalty that follows you for the rest of your life, added right onto your premium every single month. This is the single most important box to check before anything else, because your health is what makes the rest of retirement possible in the first place. Even a short gap in coverage, say a month or two between your last day of work and your new plan kicking in, is enough time for something unexpected to happen and turn into a financial setback that follows you for years. The second thing is your emergency fund. A lot of people retire with a solid nest egg, but very little sitting in cash they can actually get to quickly. Once that steady paycheck stops, you want 3 to 6 months of expenses sitting somewhere safe and easy to reach, not tied up in investments that could be down the day you need the money. This protects you from having to sell investments at a bad time just to cover something like a car repair or a medical bill. Think about it this way. If the market happens to be down the exact month your water heater goes out, you don't want to be forced into selling investments at a loss just to cover a repair. Having that cash cushion means you get to make decisions on your own timeline, not because you're backed into a corner. A good rule of thumb is to keep this money somewhere boring on purpose, a savings account or a money market account, not somewhere it can lose value right when you need it most. The third thing is your budget itself. Working income and retirement income behave completely differently. You're no longer getting a steady paycheck every 2 weeks. You're pulling from savings, pensions, and Social Security, and those come in on different schedules. Before you tell anyone you've retired, sit down and build a real budget based on your actual retirement income, not your old salary. Figure out what's coming in, what's going out, and where the gaps might be. A lot of people skip this step and end up guessing their way through the first year, which almost always leads to overspending, usually because the money is still sitting there in the account and it's easy to assume it'll just work itself out. It won't, not without a plan. Even a simple, honest look at your numbers on paper can save you from a rough surprise 6 months into retirement. For example, list out every source of income coming in, whether that's Social Security, a pension, or withdrawals from savings, and line it up against your actual monthly bills. If there's a gap, you want to know about it now while you still have options, not after you've already spent through your cushion. The fourth thing is reviewing your insurance policies across the board. Life insurance, home insurance, auto insurance, all of it. Your needs change the moment you retire. If your kids are grown and your mortgage is paid off, you may not need as much life insurance as you did 15 years ago, and that could mean real savings every single month. On the other hand, If you're planning to travel more in retirement, it's worth double checking your auto and home coverage to make sure you're actually protected the way you think you are. Either way, this is a quiet phone call you can make before you announce anything to anybody. And it's the kind of 5-minute call that can end up saving you real money every single month for years to come. The fifth thing, and this one is easy to put off, is your estate plan. That means your will, your beneficiary designations on retirement accounts and life insurance policies, and who you've named to make decisions for you if you're ever unable to make them yourself. A lot of people haven't touched these documents in 10 or 20 years. Life changes, marriages, divorces, grandkids being born, and your paperwork needs to reflect where your life actually is right now, not where it was decades ago. Getting this handled quietly and early protects the people you love from a mess later, and honestly, it protects you too. An outdated beneficiary form can send your money to an ex-spouse instead of your current family, simply because nobody ever went back and updated the paperwork after life moved on. The sixth thing is your Social Security claiming strategy. And this is exactly why you don't want to announce your retirement before you figured this part out. The moment people know you're retiring, you're going to get a dozen different opinions from a dozen different people about when you should start collecting. Your brother-in-law will have an opinion. Your neighbor will have an opinion. None of them know your actual numbers. Sit down, look at your full retirement age, your health, your other income sources, and decide your strategy quietly and privately based on your situation before the outside noise starts. Once word gets out, everyone suddenly becomes an expert. And it's a lot easier to stick to a plan you've already made with clear eyes than to make that decision while fielding well-meaning but uninformed advice from every direction. Your neighbor's situation is not your situation, even if they mean well when they tell you what worked for them. The seventh thing is your debt. Going into retirement, carrying high interest debt, especially credit card debt, puts a real strain on a fixed income. Before you make any announcement, take a hard look at what you owe and put together a plan to pay down the expensive debt first. Even something as simple as paying off a credit card with a high interest rate can free up real breathing room in your monthly budget once that steady paycheck is gone. Carrying that kind of debt into retirement means part of your fixed income is going straight to interest every month. Money that could otherwise be going toward the things you actually want to be doing with your time now. If you're carrying more than one balance, tackling the highest interest rate first usually saves you the most money over time, even if the balance itself isn't the biggest one. The eighth thing is your withdrawal strategy from your retirement accounts. This is one people really underestimate. The order you pull money from your accounts, whether that's a 401k, an IRA, or other savings, can affect how much you pay in taxes every single year. Pulling from the wrong account at the wrong time can push you into a higher tax bracket without you even realizing it happened until you file your taxes the following spring. This is worth sitting down with a financial advisor or tax professional about before you retire, not after, so you have a real plan instead of just pulling from whatever account is easiest to access. A little bit of planning here, done quietly ahead of time, can genuinely save you thousands of dollars over the course of your retirement, simply by being intentional about which account the money comes from and when. The ninth thing is your legal documents, specifically a power of attorney and a healthcare directive. These are different from your will. A power of attorney lets someone you trust make financial decisions for you if you're ever unable to. And a healthcare directive spells out your medical wishes if you can't communicate them yourself. Nobody likes thinking about this stuff. I get it. But having it in place before you need it is one of the most caring things you can do for your family because it takes an impossible decision off their shoulders during an already hard time. Without these documents in place, your family could end up having to go through a court process just to make basic decisions on your behalf at the exact moment they're already worried about you the most. A simple conversation with an attorney or even some reputable do-it-yourself legal services can get these documents squared away without it turning into a big production. And the 10th thing, the one I saved for last, is your living situation. Before you tell anyone you're retiring, take an honest look at where you're living. Is your home still the right size for you? Are there stairs that might become a problem down the road? Is it close to family, to good health care, to the things you actually want to be near now that you have the time to enjoy them? Some retirees downsize and free up a good amount of money in the process. Money that ends up going straight into that emergency fund we talked about earlier, or toward the travel and hobbies they've been looking forward to. Others make small safety upgrades like a walk-in shower or better lighting on the stairs to stay in the home they love a little longer. It doesn't have to be one extreme or the other either. Some retirees simply rearrange a bedroom to the main floor or add a handrail somewhere it's needed. Small changes that make a real difference without uprooting your whole life. Either way, this is a decision worth making on your own terms and your own timeline, not after everyone already knows and starts weighing in with their own opinions about what you should do with your house. So here's the bigger picture behind all 10 of these. Once people know you've retired, the advice starts pouring in, the requests for loans start coming in, and unfortunately, so do the people looking to take advantage of someone they assume just came into a chunk of money. Handling these 10 things quietly first means you get to retire on your terms with your finances, your health coverage, your paperwork, and your living situation already locked in and working in your favor. You're not scrambling to catch up after the fact, and you're not making big decisions under pressure from outside voices who don't actually know your full situation. You worked for decades to get here. You've earned the right to walk into retirement prepared, calm, and on your own terms instead of reacting to everyone else's opinions the moment word gets out. None of these 10 things require a financial background or a bunch of complicated steps. Most of them are a phone call, a quiet conversation with a professional, or an afternoon spent going through paperwork you've probably been putting off anyway. The difference is doing it now, on your schedule, versus scrambling to catch up later while everyone around you already has an opinion about how you should be handling your own retirement. If this video helped you, do me a favor and hit that like button. It really does help this channel reach more people just like you. And if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to Tony Talks Finance because I'm going to keep breaking down simple, honest ways to help you protect what you've worked your whole life to build. Drop a comment and let me know which one of these 10 you're going to tackle first. I read every single one. Thanks for spending this time with me today, and I'll see you in the next video.